good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and that's obviously in the wrong order. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back to the port. As you've heard us before on many other podcasts, we have a different one today. This is in regards to a special tournament, or at least a network for tournaments, where there is a gentleman, and a few of them actually, who look after an entire server which is specifically dedicated to World of Warships and competitive modes. Now, this is called the Fleet Network, and they have been going for a relatively short period of time, but pretty much as soon as everything was integrated, or is about to be integrated onto the UI within World of Warships, these guys came along and they started pushing competitions. Now, I met today with our guest. I can't even pronounce your name. Freigeisd.
It's fine. Freigeisd. Yeah, it's German, so it's hard to pronounce, I think, for the English natives.
It certainly is. How are you doing today?
Thank
you
for having me. Oh, I'm fine, absolutely.
Fantastic.
I was looking forward to the podcast.
Right. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you for coming to spread the message about what they are doing over there, because I have personal involvement in this, and it sounds like I've got too much skin in the game, but I've been involved with your network since pretty much day one, I would say, and I think it was one of your guys who messaged me out of the blue and said, "Oh, we've got this coming up. We've got a variety of different people already signed up for it, and our intention is to make sure that there is a competitive scene." Do you want to give us a bit of an idea of what it is, what it's called, who's involved, and where we're going?
Yeah, absolutely. So the general idea of the Fleet Network is to present a platform where everyone can join and represent their fleet in a tournament environment. So for PC, it's for example King of the Sea, and something similar we try to do with the Fleet Network. But it started long before you joined, actually. It started over a year ago with the German Fleet Network, where Artur, the founder of the Fleet Network, was pretty much after the integration of trainings. So I'm thinking about doing a Discord to organize some trainings, and after that the journey started.
So,
and we have different tournament modes for pretty much everyone right now, and are still growing a lot.
The question for me would be, why? Why did you decide to do it? I know you said it was because of the integration of the training rooms, but why did you and this other gentleman, Advizioni, yeah? I am terrible with all German, so I do apologize in advance to all German listeners and also yourself as a speaker. But yeah, why did you decide to start it?
It's a passion project. Everything is here in World of Warships Legends, I think. Me and Adionsi, also Naras and Popcornwood, we are veterans of the game. We are playing since day one, pretty much. We are playing every game mode, every ranked. We have high involvement in the game, as most veterans. And we are all looking forward to something new, something better than the standard experience we have. And that's where tournaments come in. I think, you know it quite well. There's nothing better than a real competitive match where two fleets that train together and played together for years of facing another fleet that is on par or even better and playing the asses off to win this game, and everyone knows what to do, how to do it, and how to communicate what to do. The thrill of this and the excitement of those games is so good, and that's what we really wanted to do a platform for.
So you do it for the thrill. Fantastic. No, I'm right there with you. The dopamine levels do tend to raise when you're in the competitive outfit, and you know you're through to knockouts, and it's all for nothing in some cases, but all for something in others. Now I know that you guys have done really well in trying to encourage people towards being involved in these different tournaments, and I know that there have been prize pools available. Were there any hurdles that you had to go through to get towards that? I mean, was everyone okay with the crowdfunding, or what happened?
We have a lot of hurdles. So we started with only tournaments for the German community, And it showed that we really want to have the opinions of everyone, not just the strong and big fleets. We want to have also the opinions of the smaller fleets represented. And we really want to have everyone involved and give us their best feedback and opinions. And we really heard it, and we try our best to implement them in the next tournaments and so on. And the hurdles are, if we ask people to give us their opinion, they will give us their opinion, and they're good or bad. And every opinion has its rights, but some are stupid and some are not. But every opinion has its right to be said, pretty much.
Right.
The hurdles are, we really want to have tournaments that are fun for a majority of people, but not everything can be done. And some people get angry, is maybe a bit too strong, but aren't too happy with some of our decisions. But that's normal and okay.
Too happy. That's what a manager has to say. No, I have witnessed it firsthand, and you have personally talked to me about some problems during specific tournaments that we've been experiencing, but everything seems to be along the right lines, and everything seems to be a appropriate decision as and when it is necessary. But can you give me an idea of who's involved in your team, how it's structured, and what you guys do on a daily basis, let's say?
Yeah, sure. So the founder of the Fleet Network is Adianzi. He pretty much opened this Discord, and 1 or 2 days later I joined, and together I'm pretty much a co-founder now. We brainstormed a lot about what we want to do and how we want to have our tournaments structured. And for us it was clear that we want to have tournaments not on a weekend. We want to have a tournament over a period of weeks, even months, so that casuals can play also. Because life happens, every one of us has a real life, and we cannot have 50 people reserve a whole weekend just for a tournament. And after a while we figured out that 2 people is not enough for the amount of people we already have. So we got help of Naras and Popcorn Wood. Popcorn Wood is mainly doing the Discord and all the administration stuff, also helping a lot with brainstorming. And Naras is also doing all the social work and Discord work and helping us a lot to integrate new fleets. And yeah, together we are pretty much discussing everything. So we have some roles everyone is doing, but it's more like we need that and that done, who is doing it, and someone is raising his hand and it gets done. It's really, really awesome to work with those guys, actually.
See,
because it's fun and easy.
It's very similar to being a fleet leader, but just on a grander scale, right? Like, you have a lot of people in one particular area who you have to manage, look after, expect the world of you, and you also need to deliver. Have you been experienced any stress induced specifically by what you've been doing here? Because even for a smaller group, it absolutely hurts sometimes when you don't necessarily get the appreciation that you need. You are just being criticized all the time, and you are at the top of the pyramid and you have to deal with it. Have you had any experiences like that?
I would like to say no, but it's not that hard actually. Most of the guys in the fleet networks, especially the fleet leaders, are really cooperative. They really like to help, they really like to bring in their experience. And most of the time it's mostly fun and less work to do.
Good.
But
you have a good community then.
There's absolutely. We need to, I think in the 1 year we are online now, we only banned 2 people at all.
Wow.
That's not a lot. So I think we reached 1,000 people on our Discord, and we have 130 fleets currently on the fleet network. So it's roughly 4,000 people represented.
See,
that's a lot of guys with a lot of opinions.
I've done more than that in 4 weeks, honestly. I've definitely had more people than that in 4 weeks. But yeah, I respect the job that you guys are doing. Something I actually forgot to say at the start of this podcast is that there is specific news relating to an upcoming tournament that's going to be happening, an invitational tournament within the Fleet Network, and it's called the Super Cup, and eventually we're going to get onto it later, but there is going to be some unheard news about what's happening within the Fleet Cup, which may be useful for anyone that's involved. And if you don't listen to this, then you may not get the information that you actually need for when it comes around later in the year, which I believe it starts in August. How do you decide on names for each of these? Who is the creative genius that's getting involved with everything?
For the Ocean Cup, it was Allianz and me who put up the name. Weekend League, I think it was Allianz. And for the Super Cup, we tried to get the opinions and ideas from the community, which resulted in hundreds of ideas, and we still took Super Cup. Most of our decisions are not done by one people alone, by Allianz or me alone. Most of the time it's us for brainstorming, making decisions, and most of the times we are asking the opinions of the community. We're doing surveys a lot, and we try to implement the results of the service. For example, for the current Ocean Cup, it's still running. We have 52 fleets, and the maps we are playing were picked by the community. We didn't have a saying at all as the manager of the event. So we asked all of the community on the Discord which maps you want to play for the next Ocean Cup, and 10 maps that got picked the most got picked in the tournament without any adjustment from our side. And that's pretty much how we do things.
It sounds like the structure is creating itself rather than you creating a format and then everyone having to work around it, which I'm assuming from a variety of different fleet leaders at least, or even their teammates, that it's a lot more useful to see it like that, be fluid and community driven. Because the last thing you want is to be told what to do, especially in a format where being told what to do is the worst thing possible, because you should be able to think for yourself. In regards to, I'm just tangenting off here, just a bit, but in regards to the tournaments that you've already set up and created within the parameters of the training room onwards, which one has been your favourite so far? Which have you been enjoying watching or involved in, or whatever?
I like all of them. It's a stupid answer. I really like the Ocean Cup one, of course, because the Wolfpack, my own fleet, where I'm officer, won it. So I will always remember that night where we screamed and yelled after winning the first Ocean Cup. From the organizational standpoint, I like the current Ocean Cup a lot, because it's pure chaos and it's still working somehow.
You see, I did not expect one of the games, well, not one of the games, but one of the teams to have dropped out by now, which was Stahl. Because we got beat by them. And I've spoken to Battleship many times. I've spoken to him in English and Russian, thanks to one of his friends. But he is genuinely a nice guy, and he messaged us saying, "Oh, we want to scrim, we want to do X, Y, and Z." And I was like, "Yeah, I can definitely organise this. I can do it." And then we had a load of internal problems, and I was like, "Oh, we don't have the time. We can't fit it in." Then it was around Christmas, and then it went into the new year, and then no one really had the time for anything. But when I was speaking to him about it, I haven't spoken to him about him dropping out, and I don't necessarily know what had gone on there, because when we'd seen them play, when they played Wasser, for example, or when they played us, we were surprised by them. They are extremely aggressive, and they managed to domineer quite early and tried to get a points lead early on. And we noticed this a while ago, and it seemed to be a continued system which works. So two teams have found out how to counteract that. Either they've done their research, or they're just ridiculously good players and caught them out some other way. But did you manage to see any of their games?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched pretty much of every stream of Battleship when I played, and they're really good. They're really good players. They had some struggles, and that's, I think, an important message for most fleets, and even for new fleets that will hopefully come to us. do not underestimate the effort you have to have and the hours you need to take to train to be a competitive fleet. It's hard work sometimes to have always a team organized. It's a hard work to train them. It's hard work to come up with tactics. And to do it consistently over a year, it's not that easy. And even really strong fleets like Stahl have sometimes a few bad weeks. That's normal.
Yeah, no,
But I was surprised too.
We as well. I'm in UFO. We are no stranger to a bad week or a bad weekend. But yeah, no, I completely understand that position. The last thing you want is to go in complacent, but I'm assuming that they did not, and I just think that the other teams have done really well. I'm looking forward to the end of it though, because we are into the effective knockout rounds now. Who are you looking at other than TWP, of course? Who are you looking at who could potentially be crowned the new Ocean Cup champion or previous?
Out of all the fleets, I think we have the big fives. I cannot say big fives, but we have obviously Vasa. They won 2 out of 3 Ocean Cups. They won the Winter Cup. They won 1 Winter Cup and 1 Ocean Cup. They are good. Assaulto, UFO, Crimson Dragons. They are a really good fleet. Also, TVP of my fleet is, I do think, one of the best fleets here. But we have also Uncle in Action, Black, and BGX, which are doing the first tournament here, which I would not like to underestimate at all. And we will play against Uncle in Action in a couple of weeks in the knockout rounds, and I'm really worried actually. They're good. And that's the fun about the competitive scene. You're playing against fleet you maybe have never heard about, and then you come to the realization they are really, really strong. I can remember the first time we played Vasa, I have not heard about the fleet previously, and they kicked our asses.
Well, we've had that meeting before as well, and Lord knows it has been very tight on both occasions. I know that
Exactly.
the CRD, we lost in the last second, and it was my fault.
Oh yeah.
So
Crimson Dragons is a good example. I think in the German community it's well-established fleet, but I think outside of Germany, pretty much no one knows them.
No, well, this is it. I when I was researching them, couldn't find anything at all, and then they did this random game where they were recorded by the other team, so you couldn't really see much. But yeah, it's a bit different to seeing that than actually playing, because you've got to counter a strategy that you don't necessarily understand, so you've just got to play a balanced one to be a bit more sensible. And to be honest, it almost came off, and we were so close to being in that final to go up against Wasser again, but we did not get the opportunity, and those guys played really well to get there, which is what I told them at the time, and I told our team as well. Obviously it's very upsetting when you're going out in the second to last round, but it is what it is. That is the enjoyment of this, and the good thing is everyone is civil about it, everyone is congratulatory, and it's exactly what you want from your community. Now I'm again going to go in a bit of a tangent, and this is primarily relating to the most recent changes within the game. Do you think that the use of aircraft carriers is going to be different in tournament in the future if everything stays the same as it is now, since the recent update, which has made things a lot harder?
So, for the broader audience, we do have one tournament, that's the Winter Cup, that starts normally roughly in January, which is a CV tournament. That's the only tournament we have. And last Winter Cup we had, it was the old mechanics, and it was a really different tournament because we had spotting from the air. DDs were pretty much useless, only there to cap and stay in the smoke screen, and it was a real different dynamic, and I liked it actually. It was sometimes really stupid to play competitively with carrier, but it was different, it was fun. In the on this regard, I do think the next Winter Cup will also be fun because it will be really different to see how the mechanic changes the competitive landscape.
Yeah,
On the other hand, I do think carriers, as they are implemented right now, should not be in a competitive match.
Yes.
But we'll see.
I would agree too. But yeah, it gives you an idea of positioning. That's the first thing. It's not necessarily going to help you with your salvos or winning the game, but it will definitely give you more of a strategic advantage to see where everyone is going or where you can expect people to be, and also holding down a side. Like you can quite easily stop people from pushing just by being there, flying around them, even if they aren't spotted, because you're constantly worried about what's going to happen. I was in a Friesland, a ship that I know that your team know too well, and I shut down 52 planes. The carry just focused me the entire game. I managed to get 2 caps off, and that's it. I didn't manage to do much else. You have to obviously rely on the kindness of others to make sure that everything is going better. But do you think that there is more of a meta now to spec into having more AA-driven ships, even on the competitive side?
Yes, so in the Winter Cup already, I think pretty much everyone was playing with AA mods, and most people had AA ships. So we have seen Rochester a lot, for example, which has really great AA, and we are seeing some of the AA cruisers in the competitive scene, which we normally do not see at all in the Ocean Cup, but we see in the Winter Cup in the CB tournament. And we had seen far more of the American BBs and the Lion, for example, which has awesome AA. And that's what I really like. Every tournament with every rule set changes a little bit on the meta. And that's, for example, the last tournaments were all tier 7. And next tournament will be tier 8. And with tier 8 we have a range of new ships we need to train for and invest tactics in. So I'm looking forward to it.
So let's talk about your league structure. You have a system where you implement all people into a league, but also you have separate sections for different people, different time zones, that kind of thing. Just give us a bit of an idea of how that is set up, how that reflects on future potential invitationals, for example, the Super Cup, which we are going to discuss later. How does that influence it effectively? Does everyone get an opportunity to be involved in the same thing? Is it a separate setup? How does that work?
Okay, the idea about it started pretty much at the beginning with the first Ocean Cup. It was really hard for us to make groups. So if you have new fleets and smaller fleets and they are competing only against the strong fleets, they get frustrated a lot, and it does not make fun at all to just get beaten 2-0 every time. Because the draw lots have pretty much put you on all the Super Unicorn fleets. So we were thinking about what can we do as a fleet network to make everyone happy, and that's something we always try, sadly. And the one thing we came up with was a ranking system. So if you participate in our tournaments, weekend leagues, and pretty much everything we do, you get ranking points. The better you are in the tournament, if you get first place, you get more ranking points, and the weaker or the less proficient you are, you get less ranking points, and therefore you get a ranking. So every fleet in our fleet network that has participated in any tournament is on the fleet network ranking somewhere. And out of this ranking, we will pick different leagues for the next Ocean Cups. So we will have the groups with the first 12, for example, and groups for the following and for the following. The aim behind is that everyone can play at least the first phase of the tournament with fleets that are nearly the same skill level, so that everyone can have fun and everyone can have the thrill about winning. Later on, those different leagues will play pretty much normal knockouts and finals against each other. So even if you are in the weakest league, because you have never participated in any of our tournaments, you have still the chance to win the world tournament or the biggest round. And furthermore, we would like to have leagues in North and South America, in Europe and in Russia, and in Asia if possible. But for that we need more fleets, especially out of North America and South America.
How many fleets do you have right now?
A few fleets there. I think we have 130 fleets.
Wow.
And most of them are in Europe, pretty much, and in Russia.
So you're looking at a minimum of what, 7 people minimum in each of those? Probably more for the majority.
Yeah. I think if you count with roughly 30 people, which are bigger fleets, it would be around 4,000 people that we represent in their fleet network. Plus minus, of course.
That's a lot of people, to be honest. But you know, you can always add to that. But this is it. It's 4 of you guys looking after that entirety thing. It feels like it's a lot. But you're saying it isn't. That's great. If they can manage themselves and look after themselves and be nice, fine for me. But as long as you guys have the structure in there to make sure that everything is happy, perfect. Now, I did.
As mentioned again, I really want to shout out again for Popcorn Wood, Naras, and Dionzi.
They are good guys.
We are a really good team, Savva. Yeah.
And
everyone is really eager to help and to work and to get results.
They're ridiculously busy on Discord as well. I'm getting messages sometimes here and there from a variety of different people. Then I'll see that they're messaging in every single channel in every single language, and it's just I don't know how you guys find the time, but I'm glad that you do, because it's setting up such a good community organized tournament space. Like there hasn't been many other things like this. I know that there has been a couple that have tried to set it up. I'm actually involved in a few. I think Legends of WoWs is one, WoWs Fleet Battle Group, Legends Cup, Federated Naval Fleets, I guess, as well. But they haven't gone to the scale that you guys have managed to. And I imagine that some of that is related to how everyone presents themselves inside, but a lot of it, in my opinion, will be related to the prize pools. Now, how do you get away with having a prize pool? Because I'm sure everyone is desperate to know.
Yeah. I want to disagree here. It's not about the prize pool. It is about having the focus not to have the biggest tournament. It's having the focus on having the best tournament for the group you're targeting. We started with only the German fleet network and the German community, and we tried to have the best tournament for the Germans in here. And we did that, and the word got out that we have a good tournament. Then we opened up for European. We founded pretty much European fleet network. Then we tried to have the best tournament for European fleets, and we did well. And it's not the prize pool, it's that the fleets are in here with having a lot of fun, actually. That we had some few hundred euros as donations from some guys, which we are really thankful, helped a lot. And for the Ocean Cup 3, our official sponsor is now Wargaming, which is also really cool, actually.
See, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. You are getting the right things to help people progress, not necessarily have it as a prize, but if for whatever reason, let's say, like our team did, in the prize money that we received, what we did was we distributed it between every single player that was involved, and then we decided on who we thought were the MVPs as voted by the fleet themselves, and then those people would get an additional crate or something like that just gifted to them. So it externally does help as well. Like it keeps the interest there, even though there is obviously interest in the tournament, but it keeps the want, which is why anyone has that available. And the good thing about Wargaming being involved is what they are prospectively offering when it comes to this system, because in exactly the same as King of the Sea, eventually obviously that went to become a Wargaming product, and then they offered prizes that were physically available within the interface of the game, which in this case that is the case as well. What would anyone who's going to win the Ocean Cup 3 be expecting to receive, or even runner-ups?
The winner of the current Ocean Cup will get 10 Tier 7 ships. So every ship you can buy in the shop at the time of the winning of the last match, 10 ships is distributed to the fleet. So the fleet leader can decide on 10 people and 10 ships, and the best fleet get that. The second best fleet get 10 tier 6 ships, and the third get 10 tier 5 ships, which is awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's good that Wargaming have actually got involved with it, because usually and historically, especially on the PC side, they wanted to distance themselves a bit. And I know that initially, when everything was being set up, when we were talking with the community leaders in relation to it, they were, well, we'll let someone else do it and then see how that goes. So they've let someone else do it, be yourself and everyone around you, and suddenly they're now seeing that, oh, there's an interest here, there's fleet battles obviously available now again, and you know, it seems to be a drive more so than it has been. Would you say that?
Yes, and yes, but I want to add on that. I think I first contacted Cialis, it's the German-speaking community manager, after the first Ocean Cup, so pretty much 10 months ago. And after that, it started the process, and it's only now that we have reached a good size that they are helping us out here. So same with us, they waited for a bit if it's working or not, if you're doing good, especially if we can manage a bigger quantity of people, and if we have some streamers and community contributors helping us. So if you think that you can just do one tournament with 10 fleets and Wargaming will give you hundreds of dollars, no. You really need to prove yourself. That's not that easy, actually, I think.
Clearly. I mean, you've got...
I can understand them.
A few thousand people working on it. I know that where was I going to go with this? In relation to the conversation that you were just having about wargaming and what's happening, I think that in the future they would want to get involved a lot more than they have been, and I would want that to happen. I think that originally, when it had all been discussed 5 years ago, when everything started, that fleets and plans and all that kind of stuff, quote, don't make money. So we're not going to be focused on that. We're going to focus on everything else, monetization management, everything that every wargaming player's ears burn for. Do you think that your system has had a good enough impact to direct them away and make them see that this is quite a big potential for attention for the game, which therefore will monetize itself? Would that be something you would agree with?
Yes, absolutely. I'm maybe proud is the wrong thing, but the fleet network is one of the reasons why the interest in the fleet battles and in training rooms and so is still on, and there are still some resources, not the majority of resources, trying to improve the competitive scenes. I don't think any details can be said, but there is still there are a few issues we have still in training rooms, and we need them to solve. And I'm pretty sure sooner or later, and that could be 1 year or 5 years, I don't know, they will help us there. And that's due to us all helping the competitive scene.
See this?
If we do not have any tournaments, any groups playing competitively, no one would even bother to help for 1 hour to implement anything.
Right.
So yeah, we are helping that.
Well, we do. You guys are helping that, and you are leading the way and pushing us towards the better future that we all know that we can when it comes to competitive. Now, there's obviously free-to-play players, that's fine, you do what you want to do, but there's a lot of competitive ones that do enjoy the chase, do enjoy the thrill of winning, and just enjoy everything about it. Now, we are coming towards... sorry.
I just want to put it into perspective. I think if we say the competitive scene is to 20-30% of the fleet currently. So if everyone that plays competitively with fleets will join us, it's roughly 10,000, 15,000 people, and that would be top-notch, everyone involved. I don't think that will ever happen.
That would be...
And the player base is what, 300, 400,000?
That would be a year-long competition with 10,000 people. And
Yeah, but I agree in that, but the competitive scene is rather small compared to the majority of people playing the game.
yeah, no,
And it will always be that way.
I agree, especially towards the higher level, but any level generally, yes, I would agree. You see a variety of people that still don't have tags on, may not even have a microphone, may not want to get involved. So, as I say, that is why the game's there as well, so you can do that, you can sit back, you can relax, do it in your own way. Anyway, we are coming towards the latter stages of the cast. Now, there's two more things that I want to know. So, the first one is, how does anyone who's listening to this find your network?
We are on Discord, and I really hope you put out our invitation link somewhere on your podcast site.
Yeah, we will be.
But the easiest way would be to just contact me, Freigeisd, spelled as pronounced, in German at least.
Your name will be on there as
on
well. So
Discord, yeah, on Discord or on PSN, and I will send you the link. As mentioned before, the competitive scene isn't that big. If I get a few hundred more private messages, it doesn't matter.
That's fine. You can always distribute it to the team. They can always help.
Most of the biggest fleet have the TFN somewhere, and if you ask anyone, I'm pretty sure everyone will send you the link. Fantastic. And shout out to all the North American, South American fleets. Please come join us. We would really like to have a league system with your time zone. So
I saw.
Feel invited.
I saw a map recently that one of your guys created. I don't know if it was yourself, and it had where all of your fleets and players and whatnot come from, and there were more than enough in Europe. I would say there is a lot there, so much so that you can't actually see the pings of who's there. But yeah, there was a few over of the Pacific side of the world, but there wasn't a lot. So anyone who is over there, who is listening to this, because I know we get quite a lot of American viewers, not necessarily South American, but definitely American, feel free to come and see these guys and see what they've got to go, especially if you've got a fleet, because you can get involved.
Absolutely. And do not be angsty about joining us. You don't need to participate in the Ocean Cup or the next upcoming. Just join and have some scrim matches with some of the senior fleets. Most of us are really eager to help out newer fleets, and just having a scrim battle 7v7, 9v7, just to feel it for the first time, how different the atmosphere is in a competitive game compared to a standard game. It's really a different feeling to trust your teammates. That's something you will never have in standard mode.
Never.
And it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, because you're trying to speak over the mic in standard, and you either don't get anything back, and then they do the opposite of what you would prefer them to do, or they would give you a hurl of abuse. So if you don't want abuse, feel free to come and join the Fleet Network. Sorry, that was a terrible promotion, wasn't it? Still, so I am going to...
No, it's fine. That's pretty much what I wanted to say.
I'm going to hand the reins to you to give us some A-class information which has never been heard before outside of anywhere other than yours and Adz's messages, I'm assuming. So, what information do you have for us which is going to be beneficial for anyone involved in the Invitational Super Cup?
Exactly. This summer we will start the Super Cup 24. The Super Cup is all the winners and finalists of all the cups of the year, and the best fleet of the fleet network get an invitation, a golden ticket to join the Super Cup and battle out for pretty much amongst the best of the best fleets there is. And for the next Super Cup we will have 3 maps selected, and we'll play them in domination mode, and the maps are first Shatter, second Sea of Fortune, and the third and tiebreaker map is Impost. So if you want to start training, start now, and if you have listened to this podcast, you already know far sooner than anyone else which map it will be.
Those are very mirrored maps, and that's kind of scary, to be honest, because everyone's on a similar wavelength, aren't they? Alright, okay. Well, that is a first for everyone's ears.
This will be the competitive fleet battles. So this tournament will be a lot of fun for everyone involved. and watching, obviously. So I do hope, and we will see a lot of CCs casting the games again.
Yes, that is another thing. Quite a lot of the games will be casted by a variety of the community contributors. I won't name all of them, but there are a few people that join in and help out and supply you with visuals to enjoy within the games that are being competed with. Now, the one thing from Wargaming, you'd love to see a flying camera within the game, but that's way down the line, isn't it? So for the time being, they look at the streams of people within the games, and you get to enjoy their perspective and see for yourself how they are dealing with competitive and how they position their ships and do whatever they need to do. Now, Freigeisd, is there anything else that you'd like the good listeners of Back to Port to want to know before you head off?
Yeah, just a remembrance to everyone here. The game is awesome, and if you have hard times with new carrier mechanics, it will get better. And the competitive scene is still playing without carriers, so please come and join us.
Yes. So even if it doesn't change, we've got you. But yeah, so I really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much for coming out. I do hope that everyone has enjoyed listening to this. We don't have any Patreons anymore, so that's been dropped out. So the only way that you can get to listen to this is obviously on the podcast portals such as Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere you want to get your podcast, including Anchor as well. So thank you very much for your time today, Freigeisd. It's been a real pleasure talking to you about everything. I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Well, enjoy your evening, and thank you very much for listening. See you soon.